Being Are you telling me I came all the way to Canada and now you're recording me on video?
You came all the way to Canada?
All the way from Canada.
From Canada.
From Canada.
Or are we in Canada?
Wait, is this at the beginning or the end of all of the whiskey?
There's a lot of Canadian whiskey here, so we might be in Canada.
Might be.
Probably.
I mean, it never comes down.
No, there's Balcones. We're in Texas.
That's fine.
Okay, we're good.
There's Iron Root too.
An Iron Root. We got Iron Root.
That's fine. We must be in Texas.
And Eleanor, yeah, we're good.
Yep. So yeah, very special edition of the Cast Strength Show with Brad here.
That's me.
Live in person. We don't have to be separated by webcams today.
You don't have to today.
Today's the only day.
Maybe.
Yeah. Oh, tomorrow? What?
Who knows?
Oh, if I go down to Weatherden, yeah, we'll see. I have spent a lot of time there recently.
It's true.
So we've got a bunch of stuff to try. Actually, we're shooting this at the very end of trying all the things.
Clearly, this is the very end.
Right, but we're going to put this at the beginning, and that's how that's going to work.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler.
We have a lot of whiskey.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm also discovering that there is Canadian whiskey that doesn't suck.
There's a couple. A few, I guess, probably.
Yeah. So I've got
some.
I tried this earlier. This was the Two Brewers Single Malt Release 13 Classic, which is, the best we can tell, it says a variety of malted and roasted grains. So I'm not sure exactly what the mash bill is. Maybe they have it on their website or something.
I'm not sure.
But that was really tasty. It actually reminded me a little bit of the Andalusia, like I was telling you earlier.
Yeah.
With obviously less kind of woody barrel things going on in there.
Yeah, no, I like it, and everything from Two Brewers that I've had so far has been pretty good.
And then this, I have the peated right now, which is released.
That is tasty.
It really is. I'm really surprised by it, and it's super light.
It is.
On the
Super
peat.
easy to drink.
Yep.
No roughness or harshness at all. It's a nice, easy sipper, but it's complex enough that you get something out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the peat cuts down on the sweetness a little bit, which is something that I like personally.
Yeah. This, what's the proof on this, by the way? I didn't notice that. 43? Okay.
Yeah, it's not super high.
Yeah. That's nicely drinkable. And what's the deal with these other two? I know this 11 Souls you've had on the show before. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it is pretty good. It's got like a crazy story where they adopted like 11 orphans from something. I think was it Vito was telling the story last time, or somebody was. It was when Teresa was on.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
she was telling the story.
Which Teresa's here in town too, right?
She is.
Yeah, she's probably out of Wizard Academy, so.
She's probably there right now, drinking all sorts of other whiskeys.
Oh, cool. Well,
it's going to be the theme for the next couple of days.
That'll happen.
Try to stay conscious.
Exactly. So that was like 11 barrels worth that they put together, right?
Yeah, it's like 11 different sorts of barrels. It was all a crazy thing. It's whatever coming. It's good.
Yeah. And this guy has quite possibly my favorite cork of all time now.
It's a crazy cork. It is.
It's like, whoa. Wow. I thought that had snapped off in my hand there for a second.
You broke it. How dare you break it?
It's glass though, with a
brought
little.
that all the way from Canada, and you broke it.
You son of a bitch. It's glass though, and it's a little. Here, Gretchen can.
Yeah, it's just a little.
Get a little shot of it. That's super cool. I love that. Except for the violent noise. And this is Shelter Point Distillery double-barreled single malt. You read this label? It says finished for 1,993 hours in French oak barrels. That's the first time I've seen an age statement.
Sometimes they're very specific.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I haven't actually tried that yet. I just hear it's really good, so I brought some.
So yeah, double-barreled French oak. That's cool. And this guy is 100 proof, 50%.
Yeah.
Cool.
Getting fancy.
Look at this. This is. So these guys, we went to the Houston Whiskey Social, and they just give you this at the door. Here's your glass. I'm like, hell yeah!
All right.
Okay, so this is the Shelter Point double-barreled single malt whiskey, finished for 1,993 hours in French oak barrels, 100 proof, 50%, and made of Canadian barley, as far as we can tell.
Yes.
Sounds like, and from family farm in Oyster River, Vancouver Island.
Yeah, I hear a lot of good things. Haven't had a chance to try it yet, but I figured I would bring it up. Cool. It's my job these days to shuffle Canadian whiskey down into Texas, to prove that we actually do have some good Canadian whiskeys up there.
It's
we
true.
Just don't share very well.
It's true. I can vouch for it. What was the other one we had here? Was the JP Weiser something?
JP Weiser's 35 or Dissertation?
I think it was Seasoned Oak.
Seasoned Oak is also very good, yeah.
I think that's one you've got upstairs here.
A bunch of the JP Weiser's like rare cask special release stuff is all pretty good.
Wasn't that the one? I think it was the Seasoned Oak that you and Vito both were talking about. It's like peanut butter and jelly. Is that it?
I think so, yeah. I think it is.
It was funny in the whiskey somm class when they got to the section on Canada. It was not only that conversation about how there's great stuff being made, but none of it really makes it out of the country, and also all the sort of rules, regulations, and practices, and all these things in Canadian whiskey is like, oh, it's done this way, except when it's not. And these, this term means a certain thing, except when it doesn't.
It's very flexible. There are rules, but the exceptions outnumber the rules in most cases, it seems.
The rule also is similar to Scotland, has to be 3 years, right? At least. Yeah. And what else do I remember? I paid attention in class. They use casks until they fall apart, basically.
Basically, yeah. Like if some other company has a cask, they're like, yeah, we can't use this anymore. It's like, give it to us, Canadian distillers. We'll take it, whatever, it's fine. Until it starts leaking all over the place or just collapses on itself.
Right.
Use it.
That's kind of crazy.
And that's also why a lot of them you don't tend to get very woody notes out of. Because all that stuff's gone.
It's already been bourbon. It's already gone to Scotland.
Unless it's then, finished in some kind of new oak or whatever. I mean, they can get those flavors back in, but from the main aging, it is often not the case.
You know what one I really want to try? Because I think like the bottle and the marketing and everything is like quite possibly the most amazing and ridiculous thing I've ever seen is that bear face.
Oh, yes.
There's like literal bear claws across the glass.
Yes. Damn, I should have brought some.
Oh, you've had it?
I've had a little sample of it at home. I don't have a bottle. But
how was it? I mean, was it...
It was good. It was a little thin, but it was good.
Okay.
It was all right. It's still young. They're very new, so it's they don't have any like really aged stuff yet.
I thought that was...
They're not sourcing, at least. I don't know if they have sourced.
That was so like... It was such ridiculous marketing that it was like absolutely brilliant at the same time because it has stuck in my mind ever since. Oh God, how does it get back in there? Okay. Aesthetically, one of my favorite corks. Functionally, we'll see.
It makes the loudest cork squeak ever. What are you talking about?
So this one, I definitely get it's got a, I hate to say grainy, you know what I mean? But, because it's, obviously they're all made from grain, but like, I feel like I can, cereally is probably better.
I was going to say like multigrain Cheerios.
Yes,
which is sort of a weird,
but
like, you get.
I'm getting I'm getting more of a honey nut Cheerios.
I don't get the honey nut at all. I don't know what you're talking about. Fraud.
Notes of Frosted Flakes.
I drink that whiskey.
Right? It's great. Yep, I just did that. No, there's also like a cinnamon, I feel like. Something like that.
There's a nice little bit of spice running through that.
Definitely tastes like French oak, which of course my reference point for French oak is Balcone, so it's not as like punch you in the mouth with barrel as that is, but French oak always has this kind of really dark fruit, but also really spicy, and a bit like coffee and chocolate. You know, all this like really dark, deep,
Sure, yeah.
you know, rich things going on, but it's, you know, sort of an undercurrent to that in here. I'll say this, you know, usually Canadian whiskey, it's very mild, right?
Sure.
And this I wouldn't classify as mild. It's not like a weak drink, you know, mixer type thing.
No, it's definitely got enough going on.
Yeah, it's got some punch to it and some complexity and a nice proof and everything. Blended with unique whiskeys from 11 casks from York, Upper Canada. Is that a proper place? Upper Canada?
Technically yes, sort of.
So like instead of like Ontario or
Yeah, it's
New Brunswick,
probably just like slightly northern Ontario is what that.
sure.
They're just old Canada, basically.
I'm just imagining they're like, you know what, like nobody lives up there. That's just we'll call it Upper Canada. Okay, so this is the Gooderham and Wart's 11 Souls blend of 11 casks, 4 grain whiskey at 49%. And complex taste of dried fruits, sweet honey, and baking spices. So this one you have had before.
Yes, I have had. It's very honeyed.
So you put it along the lines like Highland Speyside kind of thing, maybe. But well,
I mean,
it's not all barley, so probably different.
It's not quite. But you'll see. It's good.
Huh. See, this so far, at least on the nose here, is the most Canadian to me. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
Which I guess would make sense. Saying it's a blend of 11 casks, I wonder if maybe they do that sort of stereotypical thing of distilling the grains all separately, aging them all separately, and then blending them together at the end.
I believe they do.
That would make sense.
It's also the one probably with the highest distribution.
Sure, yeah.
So it's the most Canadian-y.
Right.
One, the less craft.
Right,
Yeah.
bigger production.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whereas the other ones are very much smaller. Shelter Point is not super small, but Two Brewers is definitely tiny.
Oh, that's cool though.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that. It's much more baking spice and stuff than I thought it would be, from the nose anyway. Like a ton of sort of cinnamon clove going on in there. I really like that. That's good.
It is. It's really
How good is it?
It's delicious. I won't.
good. I refuse to play your games, Gretchen.
Just back there behind the camera, screwing with us. Jeez. Oh man, it's almost so cinnamon. That's like cinnamon. There's not a bubblegum note, but it like makes me think cinnamon gum.
Sure.
You know, like without the gum base, but just like the cinnamon flavor from that. But it also kind of keeps changing.
If you hold it on your tongue for a second, I get like serious butterscotch all of a sudden. After a couple of seconds of it sitting on there. Like the spices kind of sizzle away. Oh, butterscotch back there.
Oh yeah, yeah. It becomes, you know, like sort of Speyside-y, but
Sort of.
for a moment in that sort of butterscotchy way,
Yeah.
but with all these other
Yeah, and it's like
Great
weirdly
accents.
temporary. It's like as the other flavors kind of settle down, you're like, oh, and then it changes again. You're like, oh,
Right.
it's gone.
right. Like for a moment, I'm
Yeah.
like, is that scotch? No, that's totally
Like,
not
it's
scotch.
yeah. I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah. That's really cool though. That's it's super unique too. I mean, it's different than any other Canadian whiskey I've had before, and yet somehow the most Canadian of these four. I think that's my favorite, honestly.
It's fair.
Overall, I like the peated too. The peated, and the other two were not bad by any means, but you know, these two overall.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything from them in Ontario. Like, I had to be creative getting those.
You've got people?
Places. I've got people in all kinds of places.
In ways.
As should be evidenced by the fact that I have like a dozen bottles of whiskey at the Galladay Whiskey Conservatory.
That's right. It's the Leclerc Private Collection at the Galladay Whiskey Conservatory.
It'll be a little smaller after today.
Sadly. I actually, okay, so let's tell a story. What are we taking home? We got the bottle of Ardbeg Drum.
Yep.
Which is brand new, totally full. Same with the Westland cask strength single cask that our friend James Bricker got from Total Wine in Vegas.
Yes.
Which I also have a bottle of here, which is really good.
The surprise what's in the box. Another episode, but the surprise what's in the box.
What's in the box?
You'll find out what's in the box very soon, I'm sure.
Stay tuned. The Talisker 1985, which is about half empty,
which we drank when we had already had way too much. And
yeah,
I remember it being very good, but I don't remember anything other than that because it was so very deep into the night when we opened it.
Yeah, that was definitely not. The palates were not at their peak at that time. No. So I did steal a little sample of that.
Thief.
And then the Pappy 23-year-old, which it's a little more than half gone, I think it was.
Yeah,
but,
that sounds about right.
Yeah, so...
That was the first addition to the Brad Leclerc Private Collection. Because you got that.
Well, it came along at the same time as...
it was in the first batch.
Yeah. The first wave. Brad graciously offered a sample of that, but I had the opportunity to try it, I don't know, 4 or 5 times since it's been here, whatever. So figured I'd just send the rest of it home with you.
And the
Something I can't get at home, so...
And the Westland's going
might
too.
as well.
Yeah, the Westland, and then a wee present for wee Vito. It's not whiskey though, but still.
He'll still like it.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.